You ever feel, especially as men, do you ever feel like you have more to offer, like you have so much potential, but you don't even know what it is, or you don't even know where to begin to really tap into it? There's so much more that you know that you want to do. You want to do it, and it kind of gnaws at you in the back of your mind, right? Maybe you look in the mirror and you just wonder, like, who am I? Who am I? You look at your life and you wonder, like, is this it? Is this right? So what is that? Do you want to feel haunted by, if you're like me, you don't want to get to the end of your life and feel haunted by just by the potential that was lost, by the feeling that you had so much more capability and you wasted it. That's a terrible feeling. And if you're in that, right, like the thing to be really aware of is, are you feeling that now? Put yourself there. Put yourself there at the end. If you have no more time or energy left, what are you going to regret? What do you want to look back on? And are you actively working towards that now with the time and the energy that you have now? Are you utilizing your gifts and your talents? Do you even know what they are? Right? Or is it just one of these pains that's kind of numbing, and you're looking for ways to numb yourself to the pain, and that comes up with a lot of distractions, and that can turn into addictions, right? And I think that we live in a society and a day today where most look around, most of us men get addicted to these different things, whether it's just video games or if it's something more, right? But there's always some kind of numbing effect, some way to numb the pain that comes with the knowledge that you're not really living into your true potential. And that's frustrating and it's painful. But if you're like me, you want to. And if you just had a path, you would probably do something about it. But where do you start? Where do you begin with this kind of a problem? And it's not going to be just some kind of magic pill thing. It's not going to be overnight. So if you're somebody who wants something from nothing, if you want a miracle to happen and your life transforms overnight, it's not going to work. But if you're committed and you're ready to put in some work and actually change your life, there's a path, and you can discover yourself. You can discover your gifts and your potential, what you're capable of, and start living into that potential. And I don't stand here as some paragon of somebody who does that perfectly. I mess up all the time, but I know this journey, because for me, there's been so many times in my life of such pain, of knowing that I had more to me, knowing that I was capable of so much more, and feeling like I was just scratching at the surface of what could I really do? What was I really capable of? Knowing that I'm intelligent, I'm talented, I'm usually good at most anything I put myself to, but I usually just end up doing something kind of pointless and feeling like I'm spinning my wheels. And it just flat out was depressing. And my life felt empty, hollow, right? I felt haunted by the ghost of my potential, haunted by the ghost of the man that I could be, and I wasn't, and I had no idea how to become. So if you're like me, you want to step into that. And it's a journey and a process. But there's steps and pieces to it, right? And if you're ready to put in some work, it can happen. That's the beauty of it. But it does take work, and it starts with, really, what do you want? What do you really want? Most people, most are living a life where it's just asleep at the wheel. Life's happening to you, and if you feel like that, if you feel like you're living the same day on repeat, you probably are, right? And it's probably because you're not conscious about what you even want out of life. And so it's just repeating what you had yesterday, and you're not doing anything about it. So it's just going to keep happening to you. So whenever you're ready to actually take the reins of your life, take the wheel of your life, something will change. But if you're not clear on what you want, you're just going to keep getting the same results over and over. So it's your job, first of all, your first place is to actually step up and say, what do I want out of life? What do I want? And I challenge you and encourage you to actually look at it from that place. As I mentioned, put yourself at the end of your life and look back. What do you want to look back on? What do you want? How do you want to be remembered at the end of your life? How do you want people to remember you? What do you want people to say about you? And what would you regret? Go there and let the pain of it sink in a little bit, because that's going to motivate you to actually do something about your life and not continue to repeat the same day as your soul slowly dies within you. Because when you become really, face it for what it is, that's the pain. It's just that numbing kind of emptiness that eats at you. And the second thing is to really know who you are. Know yourself, your nature, how you naturally engage with the world beyond just personality, which is something that you've memorized, right? You've memorized kind of how you normally show up, but a lot of times it's not who you truly are. And if you're honest with yourself, if you look at your patterns, you're probably in a lot of situations where you feel frustrated with yourself when you walk away and you're second guessing yourself, beating yourself up. I know all this. This is me, has been and still is on some level as I continue to work through these things. I'm not advertising myself as perfect. I'm just saying I'm somebody who knows the journey, and I know the pain intimately well. Where you go, you hang out with these people, and you fall into the same routine of who you're accustomed to being, and you don't really like yourself. In the end, at the end of the day, you don't really like yourself. You probably on some level end up hating yourself. And that's another piece where you have to become conscious of it. You have to become aware of it and look at it for what it really is. Because if you're going to keep ignoring these problems, you'll just keep getting the same problems. But when you actually look at it, do I like myself? Do I look in the mirror and do I feel proud? Or do I feel ashamed, irritated, frustrated, angry? It's your job to discover who you are. And if you feel those frustrations and those pains, all of that, really what that comes from is from a disconnect, because you don't know your heart. You don't know who you are. Milton Erickson says, it was a psychotherapist, great. He said, patients are patients for one reason only. It's because they're out of rapport with their subconscious mind. And it happens to all of us. So when you feel all this negative emotion, it's because there's a massive disconnect between your conscious and subconscious mind. And that means your person, your being is out of harmony, out of alignment. And so you're living with constant pain, frustration, and that leads to an inner conflict and a battle. And I'm just asking you, do you feel that, or do you feel like you're whole? It's your job to come to know yourself. Who are you? Because a lot of times we end up acting against our own nature, acting against who we really are. And so, and that's the case then when you're going to find yourself in situations and you feel like your confidence is sapped, or you feel insecure and self-doubtful. It's because you don't know who you really are. So you're not showing up as who you are. You're showing up as who you think you should be, or some kind of judgment of yourself. And until you're ready to put away the judgments and start embracing who you really are, you're not going to feel comfortable with yourself. And you're not going to be able to look in the mirror without that anger and even that hatred, right? So that's the thing. Do you like yourself, or are you actually really unhappy with yourself? And I'm the kind of guy where I love these questions. I love taking it real for what it is and not playing around. And I challenge you to do the same. If you're just ignoring the problem, you're going to keep repeating the problem. And the path then becomes to just take action every day on these things. Take action every day, journal, write, and start to get to know yourself. Your two biggest things you can do is understand what you want and start to look at who you really are. And of course, there's much more to it. And I'm just going over some big pieces because I just want to talk about this point. Are you really happy with your life? Are you happy with yourself? Or do you feel haunted and gnawed by the feeling that I'm capable of more and I have no idea how to achieve it? And again, I want you to know that that was me. So I know that journey. And that's why I want to help more men live into their full potential of who they're meant to be and figure their life out ultimately. Because I think there's too many men out there who feel just that. They feel haunted by the man who they could be and have no idea how to become. So the two big things I want to leave you with, three really, right, is get clear on where you want. What do you want out of life? Not just some goals. Goals are great, but you got to have a vision for your life. And then start to be clear, who are you? Start to explore yourself, who you really are. And kind of the third piece, bonus as it were, is journal it. Just start writing every day. Take some time by yourself to sit down and actually think about these things. Be present to yourself. Turn off your electronics, turn off your phone. And this is how you can actually start to reconnect with who you are, which will change your life. All right, thanks for watching this. If you want more, reach out to me. I can help you work through this on a deeper level. If something resonated for you, drop it in the comments. If you've got a question, drop it in the comments. Leave me a comment. Engage with me on this. I'd love to continue this conversation. Thanks for watching this. I'll talk to you next time.